You know, every now and then you hear a story about our planet that sounds like something straight out of a movie. It's got a terrifying, invisible villain, a hero that's literally all of us, and this one moment where humanity came together to pull off an impossible rescue. Well, this is that story. It's the true story of Earth's vital shield, the ozone layer.
So, let's just start with a crazy thought experiment. What if that shield just disappeared? I mean, gone. Imagine stepping outside into sunlight so intense, so harsh, it could burn you in minutes. A world where our food sources are threatened. That's not science fiction. That's the reality we were speeding towards.
So, what is this shield we keep talking about? The easiest way to think about it is this. The ozone layer is Earth's very own, super powerful sunblock. It's this thin layer of gas way up in the atmosphere, and its whole job is to absorb the most dangerous kind of ultraviolet radiation. You know, UV rays, long before they ever get anywhere near us.
Now, before we get to the scary part of the story, the crisis, we really need to get a handle on what was at risk. You have to appreciate just how much this invisible shield is doing for us and for every other living thing on the planet every single day. I mean, the amount of protection it gives us is just mind-blowing. And we're not just talking about preventing a bad sunburn, right? This is about blocking the really nasty UV rays, the ones that cause skin cancer and cataracts. It protects the tiny plankton in the ocean that form the base of the entire marine food web. It protects our crops. It even keeps things like plastics from just crumbling to dust in the sun. It is, no exaggeration, a complete life support system.
And how is this incredible sunblock even made? Well, it's this constant, beautiful dance happening high above our heads. Powerful sunlight zaps a regular oxygen molecule, splitting it into two separate atoms. Then, one of those free-floating atoms bumps into another oxygen molecule, they join up, and bam, you've got ozone. It's this gorgeous natural cycle of creation and recreation. But then, in the second half of the 20th century, scientists realized something was going terribly wrong. This life-giving cycle was being broken, and without even knowing it, humanity had basically declared war on the sky.
Can you just imagine the shock? Scientists are looking at this data coming back from Antarctica, and they see a massive, growing area where the ozone is terrifyingly thin. It wasn't just a little crack, it was a gaping hole, and it was getting bigger every single year. The planet's sunblock was failing. This kicked off a global manhunt to figure out what in the world was causing it. So this urgent mission basically turned the entire scientific community into detectives. What could possibly be powerful enough to punch a hole in our atmosphere? What was the weapon?
And the answer, when they found it, was just chilling. Because the villain wasn't some strange new chemical from a secret lab. Nope. The culprit was something you could find in pretty much every single home, in products people used every day without giving it a second thought.
The main bad guys were these chemicals called chlorofluorocarbons, or CFCs. They were the magic ingredient that made our refrigerators and air conditioners work. They were the propellant that shot hairspray out of a can. They were in fire extinguishers, solvents. They were everywhere. And all that time, they were silently drifting up into the stratosphere.
So how can one little molecule cause so much trouble? Well, once the CFC gets way up there, the sun's radiation breaks it apart, and that releases a single atom of chlorine. And that one chlorine atom is like a tiny, unstoppable wrecking ball. It finds an ozone molecule and just rips it apart. But here's the real kicker. It doesn't stop there. After it destroys one, it's free to go find another, and another, and another. A single chlorine atom can destroy thousands and thousands of ozone molecules.
Okay, so faced with this planetary emergency, humanity did something remarkable. This story isn't just about a crisis. It's about the solution. It's about what happened when the world listened to the science and then, get this, actually worked together.
Just look at this timeline. The discovery in the 80s rings the alarm bell across the globe. By 1987, nations come together to sign the Montreal Protocol, this historic agreement to get rid of these chemicals. Now, that was a huge deal. It meant getting rival countries and massive industries to change everything. And they did it. To this day, it's the only UN treaty ever to be signed by every single country on Earth. And by the 90s, it was working.
And that one decision, that one treaty, literally put us on a different timeline. Without it, we'd be living in a world with catastrophic ozone loss, millions more people getting skin cancer, and ecosystems just collapsing. But because we acted, we live in this world, a world where our shield is actually healing. We chose survival.
So what does that healing actually look like in the real world? The results of that global decision aren't just an idea. They are measurable, they are visible, and honestly, they're pretty amazing.
This chart just says it all, doesn't it? Look at that first bar. That's the peak right before the treaty. Then look at the second bar by the year 2000. It's a nosedive, a near vertical drop. And today, we're at pretty much zero. That is what it looks like when the entire planet decides to stop a problem in its tracks.
And that global phase-out leads us to this, just an incredible number. Because of the Montreal Protocol, almost 99% of all those ozone-eating chemicals have been eliminated worldwide. 99%. That's a stunning success by any measure.
And the effect of that success? Well, it's the best news we could have asked for. The hole over Antarctica is shrinking. All the science confirms it. Our vital shield, the ozone layer, is slowly but surely on the path to a full recovery. All because we chose to act.
So you see, the story of the ozone layer is so much more than just a piece of environmental history. It is a blueprint. It's definitive proof that when we're faced with a clear danger, we are capable of coming together to solve a global crisis. Which really just leaves us with one final, very important question to think about.